This is Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Hello, I'm Magdalite Naga, your host for this news. This hour, stay tuned. We will start with Botswana. Botswana's President Dwama Buko has highlighted Africa's demographic advantage as a key driver of the world's future during a keynote address at the World Government Summit 2026 in Dubai. He emphasized that the continent's rapidly growing and youthful population represents a historic opportunity not only for Africans but for global development and innovation. President Boko noted that the right investment in education, innovation, and inclusive economic policies, Africans' youth could emerge as a transformative force propelling global growth, technological progress, and social change.
Generally, is a very young continent with a median age of 19.3. Botswana's median age is 25. And so with such a population, Africa is poised to rule the world. So, to make it fairer, to make it more equitable, to ensure that intellectual property is internalized in every part of the African continent, that innovation serves humanity, not just a predatory elite, and that everybody can partake equitably and benefit from the fruits of the economy and the vast opportunities that are available in the world.
His remarks aligned with the summit's themes on future governance, sustainable development, and innovation, underscoring the need for international partners to recognize and support Africans' human capital potential. The World Government Summit convenes global leaders, policymakers, and experts to explore emerging trends, shaping governance and economic strategies and international cooperation. President Boko's addresses reinforced Africa's role in shaping these future trajectories, positioning the continent as a central player in the upcoming era of global development. A regional fisheries initiative funded by the African Development Bank Group is improving livelihoods for nearly 3 million people across southern Africa, boosting cross-border fish trade, food security, and economic resilience in 16 SADC member states. The $9.2 million program for improving fisheries, governance, and blue economy trade corridors has generated more than 500,000 tons of cross-border fish trade over the past 4 years, supporting jobs and incomes, while strengthening sustainable aquatic resource management. Implemented since 2022 with funding from the African Development Fund, the program has directly built capacity for over 250,000 beneficiaries in 7 countries: the Democratic Republic of Congo, Madagascar, Malawi, Mozambique, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The initiative has also strengthened governance and sustainability through fish stock assessments on shared water body vessels, monitoring systems to combat illegal fishing, and harmonized standards and policies to ease regional trade. These measures have helped demonstrate that the fisheries can be managed equitably and resiliently despite climate and market pressure. SADC officials said the program shows the region's ability to improve aquatic food systems for the benefit of hundreds of millions of people of African Development Bank representative noted that the project illustrates how targeted investment in fisheries governance can build competitive regional value chains, generate rural livelihoods, and reduce poverty. The bank reaffirmed its commitment to scaling up blue economy initiatives across southern Africa, as community testimonies, particularly from women in fisheries, underscored the program's inclusive and transformative impact.
The African Union upholds principles of democratic governance, supporting fair elections, inclusive participation, and accountable institutions that finally foster stability and trust between nations. Reform and citizen participation contribute to stronger democratic frameworks across member states. Commitment to these values underpins continental progress. African leaders will reinforce governance standards at the 39th Ordinary Session of the African Union Assembly on February 14 to 15, 2026. In Addis Ababa, Pulse of Africa features stories of democratic advancement. Catch our news story right now.
Cleaner cities are creating healthier, safer, and more livable communities in Ethiopia. Every small change makes a big difference.
Ghana and Zambia have inaugurated a new era of African mobility by signing a historic visa-free travel agreement, allowing citizens of both countries to travel, work, and conduct business without visa for the first time in their bilateral history. The announcement coincided with President John Mahama's state's visit to Zambia, where Ghana's Minister for Foreign Affairs, Samuel Ozodeto Abluaka, highlighted the agreement as a flagship outcome of high-level discussions. Minister Abluaka described the agreement as removing long-standing bureaucratic barriers and opening a new chapter of cooperation for students, professionals, tourists, and entrepreneurs. This visa-free regime is expected to strengthen people-to-people ties, boost tourism and business travel, and expand trade and investment flows by easing cross-border engagement. The move aligns with broader African integration efforts, including the African Continental Free Trade Area and the African Union Free Movement objectives, signaling a commitment to seamless mobility, economic collaboration, and cultural exchange. The agreement reflects a deepening strategic partnership and sets a precedent for similar initiatives across the continent. Both governments are now working to harmonize implementation procedures to ensure the visa-free framework becomes operational without delay. Africa has entered a new era of execution in energy and infrastructure, moving from conceptual planning to tangible project. Leaders emphasized at the opening of Continental Energy and Infrastructure Investment Forum in Lusaka. Zambian President Hakainde Hichilema stressed that the continent is no longer debating possibilities, Africa is delivering. President Hichilema highlighted the continent's evolving perspective, noting we are shifting our mindset from being landlocked to being land-linked. We are placing ourselves at the center of a connected, thriving continent. It's got nothing to do with borders here. It's got everything to do with what makes sense. Business senses what makes economic senses. Commissioner Mataboje reinforced the emphasis on action, stating that Africa does not lack plans, but success requires coordination, disciplined implementation, and partnership that deliver.
Economy is growing. It's the right place to be. We came from a difficult background 4 years ago. It was very difficult. Debt burdened. I called the Zambia Debt Restructuring Program a mission impossible, a python that basically restricted our necks, our chests, and our legs. But we've unraveled that. Very difficult process. Many countries are still struggling, but we came from behind and took the lead. It's consistent and persistence. And we have a story to tell to other countries that these things can be done better and in a shorter way. Again, AU Commission. These are the things we should take on board. The lessons of Zambia, how can that benefit other countries on the continent? And we're happy to provide learning points so that Africa doesn't have to go through pain in the same way we went through, other countries. And allowed us to create the headroom and to attract the investments that you hear about in the mining sector, in the energy sector, in many sectors.
The forum showcased initiatives aimed at closing Africa's energy access gap, including the generations of clean and renewable power, interconnections of national and regional electricity grids, and strategies to move from exporting raw minerals to creating local values. Participants underlined that the leadership is aligned, projects are ready, and Africa is prepared to collaborate with partners who share the vision of connected, industrialized, and prosperous continent. Moving to business news, we have the Ghana Gold Board, in collaboration with Gold Coast Refinery, has officially commenced the local refining of gold produced by the artisanal and small-scale mining ASM sector, marking a major milestone in Ghana's efforts to deepen value addition and reform its mining industry. The move allows gold from small-scale miners to be refined domestically to international standards for the first time, significantly reducing dependence on foreign refineries and ensuring that a greater share of value from Ghana's gold resource is retained within the country. The commemorates the start of operations, the Minister for Finance, Dr. Castle Ato Forson, laid a high-level tour of the refinery alongside the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Gold Board, Sami Gayev-Esk. The visit underscored government's backing for downstream mining development and stronger governance across the gold value chain.
This refinery today that has the capacity to do 2 tons, and now with an understanding that will begin with 1 ton per week, has employed approximately 162 workers. And they are adding value to our gold. And they are going to operate 24 hours in line with our 24-hour economic policy at the airport and creating a gold industry. It's adding value to Ghana's gold. For the first time, you will be able to see a gold bar stamped in the name of Ghana Gold Board and the Central Bank of the Republic of Ghana, or Government of Ghana Gold, being shipped out there and sold in the international market.
Local refining, or ASM gold, will improve traceability, quality assurance, and export value while boosting foreign exchange retention. It is also expected to support the formalization of the small-scale mining sector and help curb gold smuggling by integrating more miners into regulated channels. The initiative aligns with Ghana's broader strategy to transition from raw material exports to industrialization and sustainable resource management, reinforcing the country's position as a leadership hub for value-added gold production in Africa. Africans Infrastructure Limited has won a road infrastructure contract in Uganda, valued at more than €100 million, marking a significant expansion of the company's presence in Addis and reinforcing its international portfolio. The project is financed by a multilateral development agency and forms part of a broader efforts to improve transport, connectivity, and support economic activity in the region. The award reflects Africa's export-led growth strategy, with Africans continuing to The award reflects Africa's export-led growth strategy, with Africa continuing to play a central role in its overseas operations. The project aligns with international development goals and underscores the company's commitment to large-scale infrastructure programs that prioritize long-term value creation and sustainable construction practices. With these achievements, African's Infrastructure Limited strengthens its position as a key player in African infrastructure landscape, contributing to enhanced mobility, regional integration, and economic development. Bankers Association has welcomed the direction of the reforms, arguing that higher take-home pay strengthens the economy by boosting consumption, improving loan repayments, and ultimately supporting sustainable government revenue growth. Now heading to sport news, we have the road to the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, Poland 2026 reaches a critical juncture as African teams enter the third round of qualifiers, scheduled for 6 to 14 February 2026. The stage is decisive, with the outcome determining the 16 teams that will advance to the fourth and final round in May, one last step before our African sides earn a spot at the global tournament in September. Several matchups are drawing particular attention. Nigeria faces Senegal, pitting a traditional powerhouse in youth women's football against a Senegalese team increasingly experienced in high-intensity competition. Ghana clashes with South Africa in a tactical showdown between two well-organized sides, with Cote d'Ivoire meets DRC in a physical context, likely to remain closely contested until the final whistle. Regional derbies such as Kenya versus Tanzania and Zambia versus Uganda add an unpredictable edge, with outcomes difficult to forecast. Teams that gained an advantage in the first leg will need to consolidate it, with closely matched ties will taste the nerves, stamina, and tactical acumen. By the end of this round, the 16 successful sides will progress to the final qualifying stage, bringing them on one step closer to representing Africa at the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Poland. Now let's take a look at the weather forecast across Africa. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye.